Welcome to the second episode of The World Meets in Wood Buffalo on Go Wood Buffalo. And we have a set of new panelists, fresh faces with us today. And we have Kathy from Peru, Sandra from Colombia, Vicky from St. Lucia, and Zafar from Pakistan.
Thanks for calling me fresh.
And we're going to start talking about whatever we didn't speak about last week. So moving on to some Creole weddings. Let's see how it's different from the African weddings.
So if you're going to marry a Creole woman, you better have a lot of money or, get 3 jobs, because you basically have to find that money, finance that wedding, and buy her and her sisters everything that's needed for that wedding, including usually, great-grandmother hasn't passed away yet, so her dress also. There is usually, like where my mom is from, there were Maroons, so there's usually a traditional wedding or ceremony. So you meet your boyfriend or husband, you bring him home. Grandmother, mom usually doesn't like him, but the boys will talk and get together and, hey, he's a nice guy, we checked him out. The men go out to party, the women sit down and have family discussions. And we plan the wedding with mom and dad's approval. Sometimes some people don't, they ran away and get married anyway. But there's jumping off the broom. The initial engagement party is traditional Creole dancing, Creole food, which is usually like griot and rice and banana salad and a lot of alcohol, a lot of Creole alcohol, where people hug and laugh and, you're gonna be in my family now. Pretty much, you should buy me that car. But it's good times. So.
You were just making me scared not to get married. I've got 3 jobs. Why not 2 for me and 1 for who I'm getting married
But you're marrying
with?
the whole family. You're not just marrying her. What if grandma needs teeth? You got to buy her dentures.
Okay, I'll talk about
And my brother has to go to school. You have to pay for his schooling.
Well, that means I'm not getting married. I'm just becoming member of your family to fulfill all your needs.
It's for better or worse. It's for better or worse.
Yeah, but that's okay. Carry on.
Yeah.
I was just.
So if you're Christian, you have a huge Christian wedding, which means the whole village, people who hear the announcement in the papers would show up uninvited and just eat and drink and party. So you better have a lot of alcohol. Because people who don't know you would go on the radio and say pretty much you didn't have the alcohol finished in 2 hours. The huge thing about Creole weddings is about the alcohol and the dancing, of course.
What I can visualize, it's not a wedding in between 2 people, the whole community getting married that day.
Of course, yes.
Right?
Yeah, you have to basically beat out every other wedding. If there isn't enough drinks or enough partying so you would the wedding would be at 1 o'clock. You cannot shut down the party until the next morning, until the sun come up. That would just not be right. What kind of wedding is this?
That's amazing.
Yeah.
In India and Pakistan, there's not much of a difference between the type of weddings we have in the Muslim community. So I'm going to let Zafar take it up from here.
When I was invited, I didn't know much, like I have to speak about the religious aspect too, but I will start with the religion. Muslim religious wedding is very, very simple. You have to invite the priest. He comes, and we call it nikah ceremony. So he recites a few verses from the Holy Quran and then deliver a sermon which is about getting married. And he asks the boy 3 times, like he accept such and such lady in his nikah, and he say yes, and he does the same thing with the bride, and there has to be 3 people to be witness to that one. And after that, he declares them husband and wife, and that's basically very simple religious wedding. And next day, the party is, you have to have a party, but there's no booze involved. And when it comes to food, if the family is poor, anybody who is invited, they can bring their own food. We can call it potluck dinner. So that's the simplest form of a religious Muslim wedding. Now, the culture has taken over many, many things. Now like she was just talking about the parties. Now they involve culture. Now the wedding in Pakistan, India, even doesn't matter Muslim families, Hindu families, it could last from 7 days to a month. My own wedding lasted 7 days, and we call it henna ceremony. It's 1 day at the bride's place, next day at the groom's place, third day some other relative has it, and then it's the night before, and you have a guest, like 300 to 500 guests in these parties, and then come the final day, the wedding, and the wedding party goes in a form of a procession to the bride's house, and usually there's a band playing in front, and if it's evening, there's fireworks and all that. When they get there, the huge dinner and whole 9 yards.
Zafar, your bridegrooms also sit on a horse and come to the girl's house, right?
Not the girl, but the boy, because I'm talking about the modern now. The horse traditions is almost finished. Now they use cars or something like, some people have started to use buggies, but mostly it's the mechanical thing now, car, jeep, something with the open roof and all that. And then there's a big supper, and that's the wedding day. And next day, there's another party, we call it walima, in South Asia, India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh. And that's from the groom side. The bride family comes there, and that's another huge gathering. And that day, the bride family come after the supper, they take the bride with them and the groom with them too. They spend a day, 2, 3, whatever. You know, if they are far, they may stay longer, and after that, it's really like a regular visit to bride's house, groom's house, and this is just a very basic modern wedding. Some people have extended it to like a month. My sister's son got married, a huge family, they belong to a tribe, and like a wealthy member of the tribes want to throw a party almost every day. It starts a month ahead and finish, you know, in 35 days.
Thank you, Zafar. That was such great information about Muslim weddings, and I didn't have so much information from my side, so thank you.
Thank you for having me. You should have a 3-hour show so we can shed the lights on everything.
So we'll go for a short break. Welcome to The World Meets in Wood Buffalo. We are back after the break, and now we have Sandra from Colombia, who's going to talk to you about a tribal group on the coastlines of Colombia and how they get married.
Marriage is an important and a vital ceremony in Colombia, as in many places of the world. According to the different ethnic groups, cultures, and religions, it has their own local traditions, and that's what I would like to talk about. In general, the traditional weddings in Colombia includes the exchange of vows by the couple, the presentation of a gift, that is the ring, and also the public proclamation of the marriage. However, there are different ethnic groups in Colombia that they have their own local traditions. So I would like to talk about two of them. One, it's called the Guayús. They live in the north of Colombia and also in the northwest of Venezuela. Usually they have their own costumes and their own cultures that make a huge difference from the traditional weddings. One of the special things is that the girl, the person that is going to get married, she has to get a haircut, and she has to literally shave the head.
Oh
also, yes, but it also happens in the ethnic groups. It does not.
That's not modern weddings.
Yeah, that's not modern. Exactly.
Whenever I shave my head, I'm gonna think I'm getting married.
Yes, but also if you want to do that, girls have to go on a special diet. That is called Jaguarín, and that special diet, the purpose of that special diet is to look beautiful the day of the wedding. So that's another important thing that you have to make. Also, the person in charge of make the arrange of in that ethnic group is the uncle, and that person is, we can say, like, sell the bride. And in exchange, the family receive horses or receive any items of value, and also jewelry. Also, there is celebrated like a special dance. In that dance, the women that is gonna get married dance towards the men, And meanwhile, the other people is just playing the instruments until the man just touch the ground. So it's like a very ethnic tradition from the Wayús.
You use the word like selling, buying or selling with a certain tribe, specifically in that tribe, or it's a common practice there. Correct me if I heard something wrong.
Yeah, but it's only in that ethnic group, because in the traditional wedding it's very similar to the Peruvian one. Like it's an agreement between the guy and the girl, and we don't sell people, so it's like an indigenous tradition. That's
just
no common.
To per se, right?
Yes,
but it's a wedding.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's
I was
no.
confused there.
So, last different. Can I exchange somebody for a horse if I wanted to? Does it have to be your father or mother, or could it be another family member?
The only, and that happened in the Wayús, but the only person that can do that is the uncle of the chief.
Kathy, can we go ahead and give a small description about Peruvian weddings?
Okay. Peruvian wedding is similar than here in Canada and in other countries too. They have to get married in the civil ceremony, because there are two ceremonies in Peru. First is the civil ceremony, that is the legal one, and the religious ceremony that is optional. It's more traditionally, right? So that get part in the church.
And do they also have like folk dances and stuff?
Yes, we have in Peruvian. It's very native.
And I know that Peruvian food is very delicious. So do they have like a special, the tribes have a different kind of food and the modern people have a different kind of food?
They kill the cow. They kill a cow and then they cook it underground. Yes, they call it pachamanca. Pachamanca.
We call it saji.
Yeah?
Yes.
And yeah, they put all the potatoes and vegetables with the meat and they cover, and they have to just be there with hot rocks.
Yeah.
Hot coals.
Yeah.
Very interesting. It's the same thing is done in Middle East. We do it in Pakistan, and lots of people do in India.
So for us, actually, in the Christian weddings, we have, you have to take out, there is a sari that you wear to the church, which is a white sari with gold embroidery and stuff on it. And once you're married, you take off. It's symbolic. It's like, you know, you're this virgin who's going to church, and then once you're married, then you're supposed to wear the red sari, which is a sign that you are now you move from this family to that family. And a thread, like 2 pieces of thread from the sari which the boy gives you, you have to take it out and you have to tie the thing that the boy ties on your neck when you get married to him. So that is considered to be like an omen. So if that thread breaks within the first week, it's considered to be very ominous. So you have to be so careful when you take a bath and stuff, you know, that you don't.
Thanks God, it's just a thread. I just think maybe you want to strangle you.
I would just replace it.
I want to say thank you to all of our panelists for today. This has been an amazing discussion. I want to thank Kathy for the Peruvian wedding description, to Sandra for a description about Colombian weddings, to Vicky. Thank you so much for the Creole and bringing an excitement to our show, and to Zafar for having so much curiosity.